My child, stop everything. Yes, everything. This is not coincidence. It is a divine intersection. I must speak to you immediately. Not later, not when it's convenient, not after the noise fades. Right now, in this exact moment, with heaven leaning close and your spirit on the edge of awakening. I have something to release into you that cannot wait. Your next chapter, your next breakthrough, your next instruction hinges on this now word. Because this is not just another video. This is your visitation. I'm speaking directly, prophetically, and personally. Not to impress you, but to ignite you. Don't let this moment pass. Don't let distraction steal your word. Every second matters. There is revelation in the middle, deliverance near the end, and a divine charge waiting to land in your spirit. So, I need you to stop, not just with your hands or your schedule, but with your soul. Yes, I'm asking for the deepest stillness, the kind of stillness that unnerves the flesh but awakens the spirit. I must speak to you now, not tomorrow, not when you feel more spiritual, not when life settles down, but now. The urgency in my voice is not born of panic. I am not shaken by time. I am not driven by chaos. I am the author of peace, and yet I speak to you with a tone of holy immediacy because something eternal is unfolding in the atmosphere around your life, and your heart is finally quiet enough to hear the whisper I've been carrying. You were not drawn to this moment by curiosity. This is divine orchestration. My spirit has hovered over your day, disrupted your distractions, interrupted your rhythm, just so this moment could be carved from the noise and set apart as sacred ground. I have not come to give you another comforting word. I have not come to repeat what you already know. I have come to pierce through the crust that grief and weariness have wrapped around your inner ear. I must get through. I must speak now. Because what I have to say will redirect your path in ways that human logic cannot map. This is not correction. This is commissioning. This is not just a word. It is an impartation. A spiritual infusion designed to awaken the parts of you that have been waiting in the shadows of silence. Heaven is leaning in with urgency and purpose, and you, my child, are at the center of what I'm about to release. You see, beloved, there are moments in your life where my voice doesn't just encourage, it reconfigures. This is one of those moments. You've been asking, Lord, just show me what to do. And I've watched you scan the horizon for signs, for signals, for something external to give you the confidence to take your next step. But I didn't send thunder. I didn't split the skies. I've waited for this quiet room, this exact second, when your soul would be open enough to receive my tone without distortion. This urgency is not about what is crumbling. It is about what is being constructed. I'm not showing you what's ending. I'm unveiling what's beginning. And it's bigger than you think, child. You thought I'd come to fix what broke, but I came to build what's never been seen. What I whisper into your spirit in this moment will set off a chain reaction in the heavens. The alignment has already begun. The angels are already positioned. The scrolls are already open. You don't see it yet, but I do. That's why I must speak. I must awaken what your battles tried to bury. The urgency in my voice is the sound of your assignment coming into view. I need you present. Not distracted, not analyzing, present, because what you do with this moment will echo in places your feet haven't touched yet. I'm not leaning toward you with threat, I'm leaning in with fire, the fire of purpose, the fire of destiny, the fire that says, I am not done with you. Stop right where you are. This word is not a suggestion, it is a summons. I must speak. I must speak to you immediately. My precious child, you must understand this. This is not coincidence. This moment you're in, this message you're reading, this breath you're breathing, is the crescendo of countless divine alignments. You didn't click your way into destiny. You were carried here by my orchestration, gently, fiercely, intentionally. I didn't wait for you to figure it all out. I pulled the thread of your spirit through sleepless nights, through lonely prayers, through broken hallelujahs, and into this precise second where the atmosphere around you is now dripping with revelation. You did not stumble into my presence, you were summoned. Summoned like Moses to the burning bush. Summoned like Esther to the king's court. Summoned like Samuel in the quiet night. The world called it a coincidence, but heaven calls it convergence. This is the second your soul has been unknowingly trained to carry. Your resistance didn't disqualify you. Your questions didn't dissuade me. I knew you reached this moment breathless, but ready. I watched you bleed in silence and still press forward with trembling faith. You thought you were surviving, but I was shaping, sculpting, sanctifying. Every step that seemed random, every delay that seemed cruel, every shut door that made you wonder if I'd abandon you, it all built the soil of this holy second. This isn't just a word. This is a war cry. This is not casual comfort. This is covenant confirmation. The weight in your chest right now, that's your spirit recognizing the sound of my footsteps. I'm here. And I'm not whispering to your surface. I'm summoning your spirit. I have hidden this moment in plain sight until now, because what I'm releasing into your life in this hour could not be handled prematurely. I know how others have tried to speak into you. I know how you've listened to diluted voices with good intentions, but no authority. But this is different. This is me, your Father, your Creator, the one who wrote your name in fire before your bones were formed. I summoned you not because you were ready, but because I declared you prepared. There is a difference. Readiness is how you feel. Preparedness is what I declare. And I declare you prepared, child. Prepared for clarity. Prepared for change. Prepared for release. This moment is not a pause in the journey. It's the turning point. This is not the middle of your story. It is the hinge. The axis. The holy intersection where what was begins to unravel, and what is next starts to breathe. There is glory at your doorstep. There are instructions hovering above your head like manna, waiting for your spirit to receive. What you've called confusion is about to turn into clarity. What you thought were dead ends will be revealed as divine delays. You asked me to speak, and now I am speaking. But this is more than a response to your prayer. This is the result of my plan. The alignment is too exact to be accidental. Your heart is trembling because it knows. Heaven is in the room. Destiny is drawing near. Do not let the simplicity of this moment deceive you. Do not wait for lightning and miss the light. The fire is in the stillness. The instruction is in the intimacy. What I am saying to you right now is not just going to encourage you. It's going to elevate you. I'm pulling you into a realm of revelation where what once took years will now unfold in moments. Where what once drained your strength will now reveal your anointing. You've outgrown the last season without even knowing it. That discomfort you felt, that holy discontent, that was me enlarging your capacity, stretching your discernment, tearing down false ceilings. You are not standing still. You are standing on the edge of something sacred. And this next step cannot be led by logic. It must be led by trust. I summoned you here because your spirit is ready for more than your mind can comprehend. So let the noise fall away. Let the fear dissolve. Let the grief be lifted. Because the ground you're standing on is not ordinary. It is an altar. The minute you recognize this moment as divine is the minute everything begins to move. I've not called you to merely survive. I've called you to respond. And this is your moment to say yes. Say yes, beloved. Because I summoned you here for more than a message. I summoned you for a movement. My beloved, my heart has ached watching you hold yourself together when everything inside felt undone. You have been strong longer than anyone knows. You've given and poured and encouraged others while wondering silently if anyone would ever do the same for you. You've walked into rooms full of people yet felt completely unseen. I've seen the way you carry burdens that were never meant to be yours alone. I've watched you put on smiles that covered aching silence. I've heard the prayers you didn't even speak out loud, just the sighs, just the tears, just the breathless groans that rose like incense from the hollow of your soul. I want you to know this. I was there for every single one. Every whisper that hit your ceiling, I caught it. Every prayer that felt like it dissolved in the air, I recorded it. I sat in the silence with you. I've wrapped myself around you when no one else could see you breaking. I've cradled you in the middle of the nights when all you had was exhaustion and questions. And child, hear me now. I can no longer remain silent. The ache has reached the threshold. The timing has reached the tipping point. I will not let you sit in the shadows one moment longer. I am now standing up on your behalf. I am breaking my silence, because it's time for the suffering to bow to the sound of your breakthrough. There comes a moment when the whisper becomes a roar, and this is that moment. You didn't ask for accolades. You didn't demand answers. You just kept showing up, faithful, even when frustrated. You kept believing, even when your belief felt fragile. And because of that, I am tearing the veil between what you feel and what I've been forming. I can no longer remain silent, because what I've been building for you in secret is now ready for release. What the enemy tried to convince you was abandonment was actually alignment. I've been setting the stage, arranging the divine scene of your restoration. I've been removing the wrong voices, dismantling the old cycles, recalibrating the weight of your anointing to carry a mantle that few could bear. And now I must speak because your time has come. I must speak because your endurance demands fulfillment. I must speak because the pain has accomplished its purpose, and now the pressure will give way to promise. You're not being overlooked, you're being revealed. What I am about to do in your life will not be a trickle, it will be a torrential unveiling, a waterfall of vindication, a loud, undeniable, irreversible yes from heaven that will shut the mouths of every doubt and dismantle the echo of every lie that tried to anchor itself to your soul. You have waited well. You have cried purely. And now I, your God, speak with fire. It is time. My child, I do not speak just to soothe your heart. I speak to shift your season. When I break my silence, I do not come empty-handed. I come with recompense, with restoration, with results. I come with the reversal of what tried to defeat you. And I want you to understand this deeply. Nothing you endured went unnoticed. Every night you cried in secret was counted as sacred. Every time you chose grace over retaliation, I called it righteousness. Every time you held back your despair to pour love into someone else's emptiness, I called it worship. You were never invisible to me. You are engraved in the palm of my hand. And now, heaven's silence ends. I'm speaking. Loudly. Powerfully. Personally. This word is not for your neighbor. It's not for the crowd. It's for you. You, the one who wondered if I was still listening. You, the one who thought I passed you by. You, the one who kept walking even when no applause followed. This is the moment where my silence breaks and your story turns. You are not forgotten. You are first in line for what's about to break open. And child, it begins right now. My precious one, not everything can be revealed in the beginning. There are truths too weighty for an untested heart, too sacred for an unprepared soul. I've held some revelations back, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Like a sculptor who hides the final shape beneath a block of stone, I've been carving you slowly, steadily, purposefully. And now, my child, the hour has arrived. The veil is lifting. The scroll is opening. And the truths I've hidden in the folds of eternity are ready to be revealed to you. You've prayed for clarity, cried out for answers, begged me to explain the ache. But clarity without strength would have crushed you, and answers without maturity would have only created confusion. So I waited, not out of distance but out of divine timing. I watched you grow in the dark. I watched your roots go deeper when the surface looked barren. I watched your heart get stronger, not louder, not prouder, but stronger, silently fortified through pain, worship, and quiet surrender. And now that strength has summoned the scrolls, and now your soul is able to hold what once would have made you question everything. What I am about to tell you, my child, will not only heal your past, it will unlock your future. There is a truth, a deep truth, that I engraved into your journey long before you were aware of it. You've walked through storms thinking they were punishments, but they were actually preparations. You've endured heartbreak thinking it was abandonment, but it was divine redirection. And while the world offered platitudes and people gave opinions, I was holding the blueprint, the full map, the intricate design of every detour. What you thought were delays were really divine deposits. You felt buried, but you were planted. Hidden, but not forgotten. Isolated, but not abandoned. And now I say to you, the hour is here. I'm unfolding what was sealed. I'm opening what was stored. And I'm doing it because your spirit has been tempered by tears. Your motives have been purified by pressure. And your hands, oh, your hands, are finally empty enough to receive. You had to let go of what you thought you needed so I could give you what you were born for. This moment is not a coincidence. It is the intersection of your hunger and my holiness. I am not feeding your ego. I am fulfilling your essence. And what I reveal in this hour will not only make sense of the journey, it will ignite the next chapter of your calling. And child, listen to me clearly. I am not giving you scraps. I'm not offering vague encouragements or symbolic hints. I am speaking in thunder and tenderness, in fire and stillness, because what I am revealing now will reorder the architecture of your understanding. You have looked at closed doors and called them missed opportunities, but I say to you, they were mercy. You have mourned people who walked away, but I say to you, they were pruning. You have questioned whether your prayers hit the ceiling, but I say to you, they were stored in golden bowls before my throne. Nothing was wasted. Not your waiting, not your wondering, not your weeping. And now, with every fiber of your being alert, I am pouring revelation like rain into the dry places. This isn't just a moment of comfort. It's a movement of commissioning. What I whisper to you now will ripple into realms you haven't stepped into yet. So stay close. Stay soft. Stay surrendered. Because this hour was marked by my finger before time began. And now that you are ready, I can finally show you what your heart has always known deep down, that you were never walking toward me. I was always walking with you. That trembling in your chest right now, the subtle shaking in your spirit, the almost unbearable awareness rising in your heart. It's not fear. It's not nervousness. It's not confusion. It's recognition. Your soul remembers me. Long before your mind could name it, your spirit knew the sound of my presence. And right now, my child, your whole being is resonating with the reality of what's happening. I am here. Not symbolically, not theoretically, literally. I have stepped into your space with fullness and fire, and your soul is responding. What you're feeling is not just emotion, it's holy collision. The weight you feel pressing on your atmosphere is the glory of my nearness, the gravity of my intention. I am not brushing past you. I am enveloping you. I've stepped into your breath, your thoughts, your room. The very oxygen around you has shifted because I have come not just to speak, but to saturate. And your spirit knows. It knows this is not ordinary. It knows this is sacred. It's trembling. It's your soul recognizing that heaven just made contact with earth. This is what happens when the divine touches the desperate. When eternity breaks into time with purpose too heavy to be explained but too holy to be denied. You've longed for this encounter, though you didn't always know how to articulate it. You asked me to come near, and now that I'm here, your body can barely contain the weight of my presence. But don't fear the trembling. Embrace it. It is proof that your spirit is still alive, still sensitive, still tethered to me despite everything you've endured. Many walk numb through holy moments, but not you. You are still tender, still open, still able to sense the shift. That alone is a miracle. And it's why I've chosen to reveal myself now, not with noise, but with nearness. I'm not coming in a whirlwind today. I'm coming in the whisper that shakes mountains. Because I don't need volume to validate my voice. I just need space. And child, you have made space. In your pain, in your waiting, in your surrender, you made space. And now the sacred is seeping in. It's touching everything. Your fear, your fatigue, your questions, your identity, nothing is untouched by my glory. I want you to sit with this, my beloved. Let the trembling become trust. Let the weight become worship. Let the nearness become nourishment. You don't have to run from this moment. I know it feels unfamiliar, even overwhelming. But you're not standing in judgment. You're standing in presence. There is no condemnation here, only confirmation. I am not here to point out your flaws. I'm here to remind you of your formation. I made you. I chose you. I anointed you. And even though life has tried to mute that truth, this encounter is me reigniting what you thought had faded. Don't shrink back from the shaking. Lean into it. This is not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. It's the evidence that something in you is being unlocked, unbound, unleashed. And once it begins, it cannot be reversed. You're stepping into the holy now. Not the someday, not the almost, the now. And the trembling you feel is the sound of chains falling off, the ache turning into alignment, the child in you recognizing the Father in me. This moment is holy, and I am in it. My child, listen to me with everything in you. What you called a delay, I called a defense. What you labeled as a setback, I named as shelter. You walked through seasons where nothing moved, where prayer seemed paused and progress felt strangled. You interpreted my silence and distance, my restraint as disinterest. But I was not punishing you. I was protecting you. You cried for open doors, but I saw what was behind them. You begged for opportunities, but I knew which ones came poisoned with compromise. I heard your tears at midnight, your ache to move forward, your exhaustion from waiting, but I also saw the unseen, and I shielded you from it. What others would have celebrated, I intercepted, because not everything that glitters is grace. My beloved, you weren't forgotten. You were fenced in by love. What I withheld wasn't rejection, it was refinement. I refused to let what I've planted in you be trampled by people who couldn't discern your value. The delay you resented was the divine detour I built with my own hands to keep your anointing from being mishandled. There are things I've hidden from you on purpose, not to keep you in the dark, but to preserve your light. Had I answered too soon, you would have walked into traps disguised as triumphs. You would have been embraced by arms that carried hidden daggers. You would have shared dreams with those who only came to dissect them. So I stood between you and the very thing you thought you needed. Not to torment you, but to train you. To teach you the difference between my timing and your plans. To purge your dependence on outcomes and tether your faith to me alone. My child, you don't know what I kept you from. You don't see the ambushes I dismantled before they touched you. You don't see the envy I rerouted, the betrayals I blocked, the premature platforms I destroyed so you wouldn't stand on unstable ground. There were people who looked like they were ahead of you, but they were running into walls I didn't want you to crash into. There were rooms you begged to enter that would have drained the oil I've been storing in your spirit. And so, yes, I made you wait, but not as punishment, as preparation. I delayed the elevation because I didn't want the wrong hands lifting you. I delayed the unveiling because I wanted the unveiling to be undeniable, marked with purity, covered in peace, and sealed with my fingerprints. You need to know this, my beloved. I'm not interested in rushed blessings. I'm not orchestrating a fast-forward fantasy that ends in disaster. I'm constructing something that carries legacy, something that cannot be corrupted by man's ego or diluted by external applause. What I'm giving you is not trendy, it's timeless. It's not performative, it's prophetic. That's why the delay was necessary. I was refining your roots, solidifying your foundations, burning away the impatience that would have caused you to settle. You were never waiting in vain. You were waiting in divine orbit, circling the exact moment that heaven would break open over your head. And that moment is near. You can feel it now, can't you? That shift in your chest. That awareness that something is moving in the unseen. It's me. I'm not only breaking the silence, I'm reversing what seemed stagnant. The very ground that felt frozen is now trembling with resurrection. I'm not just releasing what you asked for. I'm restoring what you didn't know was stolen in the delay. I'm not late. I'm layered. I don't deliver partial miracles. I release whole manifestations, crafted in wisdom, sealed in fire, and wrapped in my glory. You thought you were behind. But now you see, what you call delay was actually divine defense. Oh my beloved, how I wish you could see what I see. You've walked through fires and called them failures. You felt the crushing weight of responsibility and wondered if you were cursed. You've endured sleepless nights, silent tears, and seasons of such intensity that your soul almost cracked under the weight. But hear me, child, none of it was punishment. It was the preparation of a promise too weighty for shallow roots. You've been forged, not forgotten. I didn't abandon you in the furnace. I stood inside it with you. I didn't watch you collapse. I held you when no one else noticed you were unraveling. The pressure you've been feeling wasn't random. It was precise. It was surgical. It was sovereign. Every ounce of pressure was purposefully applied to press out what couldn't go with you into the next season. I was squeezing out the fear, the approval addiction, the misplaced identity, the inner lies that said you were too late, too much, or not enough. That pressure didn't come to destroy you. It came to define you. It came to shape you into someone who doesn't just carry calling, but carries character. You see, gold isn't forged in quiet rooms. Diamonds don't form in soft soil. Oil isn't released without crushing. And you, my precious one, are more valuable than all three. I let the pressure increase, not because I was angry with you, but because I trusted you. Yes, you read that right. I trusted you. I trusted your heart to stay tender even when your strength felt gone. I trusted your spirit to keep reaching when your flesh was exhausted. I trusted that you would hold on to me even when the silence screamed louder than the promises. And you did. You stayed. You wept, but you worried. You questioned, but you didn't quit. You trembled, but you trusted. And now, because of that, the pressure has produced something precious. A depth that can't be faked. A strength that can't be stolen. A faith that isn't propped up by feelings but anchored in fire-tested intimacy. I know the world didn't see it. I know you thought no one noticed. But heaven noticed. I noticed. And not one tear, not one sigh, not one gasp of hope in the dark went unnoticed by me. You've been seen. You've been forged. And now, beloved, you're about to be revealed. And let me say this clearly, I do not waste pressure. I never allow it without purpose. What cried you also crowned you. What broke you open also built something unshakable in you. And now, I'm about to extract the oil that pressure produced. I'm about to showcase the power I formed in the furnace. This won't be just another testimony. It will be transformation. I'm not preparing you for a small moment. I'm preparing you for a movement. A mantle. A mandate. And that pressure, it was the proving ground. Others quit in the same fire you walked through. Others lost hope where you clung to me. That's why you're still standing. Not because you had the most talent, but because you had the most tenacity. You believed when there was no evidence. You built when no one clapped. You loved when no one reciprocated. You forgave when it cost you everything. And now the pressure that once seemed to crush you will now announce you. Your next season won't just reflect your perseverance. It will reveal my power. This is why I allowed the pressure. Because I was preparing a platform where only the forged could stand. And child, you're standing now. You may not feel ready, but you're prepared. And that preparation didn't come through comfort. It came through the crucible. And I say to you now, what the pressure started, I will finish with glory. My beloved child, the hour has struck. The appointed time is no longer in the distance. It is at your doorstep, pressing urgently against the door of your spirit, asking to be received. This moment is not just another divine whisper of comfort. It is the sound of my voice breaking the seal over your next assignment. I am not here to merely soothe your soul. I have come to summon it into action. I have carried this word within me, waiting, brooding, protecting it like a flame in the wind, until now. Because what I must reveal cannot be delayed. Not another breath. Not another distraction. Not another excuse wrapped in spiritual language. I am not just encouraging you to keep walking. I am activating what I deposited in you long before you even knew to call it purpose. This next phase of your calling demands a new level of clarity, a deeper surrender, and a fiercer trust. And so I speak now, as one who has loved you too long to leave you unawakened. You asked me to use you. You asked me to show you your purpose. And I, your God, am responding, not with theory, but with thunder. I must unlock this now because destiny will not wait for perfection. It waits for permission. You've asked me to open doors, but I have been waiting for you to open your soul wide enough to walk through them without dragging your past along. The dreams I've placed in you aren't dormant. They are divine. They are living blueprints encoded into your DNA, etched into your essence before time began. But dreams without direction become burdens. And so I'm speaking with urgency because the direction is here, and the delay in acting upon it could cost more than you realize. This is not meant to terrify you. It's meant to fortify you. I'm not rushing you, I'm revealing that the time you've waited for is now rushing toward you. Heaven is moving. The clock of your calling has struck alignment, and what I must release into your awareness today will change the shape of your next steps. No more wandering. No more partial surrender. This is the hour of divine deployment. I'm not just nudging your spirit, I'm launching it. You've been faithful with the little, but now I'm entrusting you with the weighty. With assignments that break generational chains, with words that pierce atmospheres, with authority that you did not earn but that I have authorized. And I'm not asking you to understand every detail before you obey. I'm asking you to move when I move, to speak when I speak, to go where I lead without waiting for confirmation from people who were never called to carry what you're carrying. I've hidden your next phase behind the veil of obedience, because only those who follow without full explanation can be trusted with full elevation. You've been faithful in the fog, and now I am unveiling the path. But you must take it. You must respond. I am activating you, not based on your perfection, but on your posture, your willingness to say yes, your decision to stop shrinking back, your resolve to walk in boldness even while trembling. That is what I'm anointing. That is what I'm unlocking. And that is why I could not wait any longer to speak this to you. Oh, how I've watched you through the silence, my precious one. I saw you search the skies for a sign. I heard your cries echo in rooms no one else entered. I witnessed the ache in your eyes when answers didn't come. You thought I had turned away, thought I had gone quiet without cause. But child, my silence was not absence. It was protection. You've been so conditioned to equate noise with progress and answers with visibility. But I work in the quiet. I guard in the stillness. I shield in the silence. Every time you thought I was distant, I was actually defending you. The doors that didn't open were not missed opportunities. They were walls of mercy. The rooms that ignored your presence weren't rejections. They were redirections. I couldn't let your name rise in places that would have corrupted your identity. I couldn't let applause from the wrong crowd seduce you into performing for platforms I never assigned you to. So I kept you hidden, not because you weren't worthy, but because your worth was too high to be handed to the unqualified. And yes, I know the silence hurt. I know it made you question everything. I know it tested your faith in ways no one else could see. But that hiddenness, it made you holy. That quiet space, it became your training ground. While others celebrated noise, you learned to discern nuance. While others posted highlights, you pressed into intimacy. While others chased platforms, you built altars. And now, because of that, you carry a weight that cannot be duplicated by popularity. The silence purified your motives. It dismantled your ego. It killed off the craving for man's validation. And it established a foundation that is now strong enough to hold what I'm about to build. I didn't let your voice rise in that last season, not because I didn't believe in you, but because I was building something in you that would outlast momentary momentum. You've been refined by obscurity, and that refining is the reason the unveiling is now possible. I've kept your name off the lips of the wrong people so I could place it on the scrolls of destiny at the right time. Child, you were not being ignored. You were being insulated. I've been surrounding your soul with layers of divine security, guarding it from flattery, shielding it from false alliances, protecting it from counterfeit covenants. I didn't want anyone laying claim to what I alone have authored. And now that the silence has served its purpose, I am speaking again, not with ambiguity, but with clarity. I'm calling your name publicly because you stayed postured privately. I'm shifting you into visibility, but not to impress people. I'm doing it to impact eternity. And every ounce of silence you endured will now become the soil from which your authority grows. Every unseen seed you sowed in tears will blossom in full view. Those who overlooked you will be surprised. Those who doubted you will be silenced. Not by your revenge, but by my reveal. Because I never forgot you. I never stopped shaping you. I only kept you hidden long enough to ensure that when I unveiled you, no one could take credit but me. My child, you need to know, truly know, that not a single tear you cried in the secret place has been ignored. Not one groan, not one ache, not one silent question vanished into the void. I caught them all. I treasured them all. Heaven has kept a sacred record of your pain, your persistence, your prayers that sounded like whispers gasping through sorrow. I have logged every ache like a scribe of eternity writing the chronicles of a faithful warrior. You have not been overlooked. You have been observed with divine attention. I have hovered near you even when the air around you felt cold and hollow. And now, child, now, the seal that has held back your answers is breaking. I am beginning to release what has been stored. You thought silence meant I had no response. But the silence was me gathering the fullness of what needed to be revealed, until the weight of your waiting matched the weight of my answer. I do not deliver half-formed resolutions. I deliver revelation. And I am releasing it now like a river uncorked from eternity, washing over every dry, cracked place in your soul. Yes, I saw you when you prayed and heard nothing in return. I watched your faith stand up while your hope sat down. I saw you make room for me even when your heart was crowded with questions. You didn't stop seeking. You didn't walk away. You stayed in the tension. You lingered in the unknown. And for that, I say to you now, the drought is ending. The famine of clarity is over. What felt like a maze is about to become a map. What looked like confusion is about to turn into confirmation. I am not just releasing information. I am unveiling insight. I am not giving you mere answers for your mind. I'm offering answers that saturate your identity, that soothe the bruises left by disappointment, that restore the vision crushed by delay. These are not surface-level replies. These are soul-level revelations. And when they come, they will not whisper. They will thunder. Because you waited when others wandered. You endured when others escaped. And now you will hear what others missed, not because you're better, but because you remained. You remained in me. And child, let me say this. There is power in the timing. If I had given you the answers too early, they would have felt like riddles. They would have turned into burdens, not blessings. But now your spirit has matured, your roots have deepened, your discernment has sharpened. You are no longer just asking for rescue. You are asking for revelation. And that is what I am giving you. Not quick fixes, but eternal perspective. Not shallow comfort, but strategic clarity. This clarity will come in layers. Yes, some suddenly and some subtly. You will sense me speaking through dreams, through divine disruptions, through people I will place in your path like puzzle pieces from heaven's hand. Do not dismiss what seems simple, for my strategy often hides in stillness. Watch how the answers arrive, not with drama, but with divine orchestration. You will hear a word and suddenly feel a shift. You'll recall a memory and suddenly see its meaning. You'll stand in a room and know, without doubt, why every no before it had to happen. This is not random timing. This is precise alignment. What was once hidden is now being revealed, not only to guide you but to mark you. Because this moment, is the birthing of answers that will echo into the generations after you. My beloved, this moment demands clarity, holy clarity, not the clarity offered by common voices or familiar comforts, not the kind that flickers in emotion and fades under pressure. No, what is coming requires the kind of clarity that only comes from me. And that is why I must speak now, not later, not eventually, but now. You've sought answers from many places. You've weighed perspectives, measured logic, and even tried to discern my will through the noise of human reasoning. But child, I am not in the confusion. I am not in the chaos. I am in the clarity that cuts through the storm like a sword of light. And that clarity comes not from opinion, not from emotion, not from fear. It flows from my voice alone, the voice that called galaxies into being, the voice that whispers peace into war-torn hearts, the voice that still knows your name in the dark. I must speak now because clarity delayed becomes vulnerability. And I love you too much to let you remain vulnerable to deception wrapped in partial truth. You are stepping into territory that demands discernment, territory marked by divine opportunity and demonic distraction. And the line between the two will not always be obvious. There will be paths that look right but lead to exhaustion. People that sound anointed but carry hidden agendas. Choices that feel familiar but are laced with compromise. And if you try to navigate this next phase by what feels safe or what others say is wise, you'll miss what I've handcrafted specifically for your steps. My child, the season ahead is one of precision, not performance, not popularity. Precision. And precision only comes from my presence. That's why I'm not offering vague nudges. I'm speaking with unmistakable clarity. You've asked me to guide you, and now I'm guiding you not with generalized words, but with laser-focused instructions that will illuminate your next step without revealing the entire staircase. Don't resist the simplicity of my guidance. Don't overanalyze the signs I send. This clarity will come with crowd cheering. It will come in quiet conviction. It will not make you famous. It will make you faithful. Because what's approaching isn't just another blessing. It's a battle line. It's a birthing canal. It's a breakthrough disguised as burden. This is why I need your ears sharp, your heart undivided, your spirit awake. You cannot afford to filter my voice through your fears or past experiences. What I say now must be received as sacred, because I will ask you to walk paths you didn't plan. I will pull you into decisions that make no sense on paper but make perfect sense in the spirit. I will challenge your comforts and confront your patterns, not to hurt you, but to hone you. I'm crafting something that others won't understand, and that's okay. They weren't given your blueprint. Don't look for validation from those who weren't present in your wilderness. Their opinions don't carry the weight your obedience does. And when I speak, my words will split the fog. They will clarify your no. They will confirm your yes. They will expose the imitation and highlight the authentic. My voice will become your compass, not your emotions, not your memory. My voice. So lean in. Listen with reverence. Filter everything else through the frequency of my spirit. I am not confusing you. I am calling you. And I must speak now, because clarity cannot wait. My child, I see the weight you carry, the heaviness in your spirit that doesn't come from sin, but from saturation. You've been absorbing too many voices, trying to map your way forward through a forest of conflicting instructions. You didn't mean to drift. Your heart was sincere. You just wanted clarity. But in your desperation, You leaned into counsel that was not anointed, advice that sounded wise but lacked the oil of heaven. You've listened to opinions wrapped in love but void of discernment. You've consulted with broken compasses, people whose directions were formed out of fear, not faith. And though their intentions may have been kind, their counsel has clouded what I was whispering. My voice had been competing with noise. And child, I will not fight for space in your heart. I will reclaim it. I am stepping in right now, not to scold you, but to recalibrate you. You've gotten turned around, not in rebellion, but in restlessness. You've tried to make sense of what I'm doing by leaning on human understanding, but the path I've designed cannot be navigated by natural sight. You need my compass, and I am placing it in your hands right now. The recalibration I am doing is not subtle, it is surgical. I am going into the core of your direction, the very coordinates of your calling, and I am resetting the internal GPS that's been distorted by distractions. You've tried to anchor your plans in good advice, but I am not calling you to good. I'm calling you to God-ordained. This season cannot be led by what worked last year. The cloud has moved. The fire has shifted, and I must lead you anew. My voice is sharper than ever, not because I've changed, but because the path ahead requires sharper obedience. Where you're going, clarity is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. And I will not let you wander through the wilderness of everyone else's expectations. I am removing the residue of confusion from your heart. I'm draining the noise that has diluted your focus. And I am doing this because what I am about to build through you requires full alignment. I won't let what I've planted be poisoned by second-hand opinions. I am reclaiming the throne of your direction, and child, when I speak this time, it will be unmistakable. So listen closely. I'm not going to guide you by the crowds. I'm going to guide you by conviction. You won't feel the need to ask, what do they think? You will know what I said. You'll walk into rooms and feel the shift in your spirit, not because of who's there, but because you'll know if I'm there. You won't measure your progress by applause, but by presence. My presence. And here's what you must understand. This reset is a gift. I am realigning you not to restrict you, but to release you. You've grown too much to be led by noise. You've been marked too deeply to follow trends. You are not common. You are called. And I am setting your eyes like flint, focused, unwavering, drenched in divine discernment. From this point forward, you will walk not by the compass of emotion, but by the conviction of my voice. You won't beg for direction. It will come like breath. I will whisper, and you will move. I will tug, and you will turn. This is not a reset to bring you back to square one. This is a recalibration to launch you forward in power, purpose, and precision. You've heard me speak urgently. I must speak to you immediately. And now I call you to act prophetically. My child, the word you just received isn't just for you, it's a flame meant to set others free. When you give, whether through a super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below, you are sowing into my global harvest. You are releasing oil that fuels the fire of my message, reaching hearts you may never meet, but whose eternity will be changed by what you carry. Did I not say in my word, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed? Proverbs 11:25. Right now, I stir you not to hesitation, but to holy action. Your seed will be met with my multiplying hand, pressed down, shaken together, overflowing. Luke 6:38. Move now. Give into this word, and watch what I pour back into your life. My child, I see how your heart races. I see the urgency in your thoughts, the quickened pace of your spirit that you've mistaken for anxiety. But listen to me. What you're feeling is not fear. It's not panic. It is divine alignment waking up inside of you. That stirring in your chest, that holy tension in your belly, that ache that feels like something's about to burst, is not pressure from the world. It is pulling from the throne room. You are standing in the gravitational field of heaven's next move. And your body, your soul, your spirit, all of it is responding. Don't resist it. Don't numb it. Don't call it stress. Don't try to fix it with distractions or hide it under busyness. This is not something to escape. It's something to embrace. This urgency is sacred. It is my spirit realigning the tectonic plates of your inner life, making room for what hath been long prophesied, but not yet released. This is not a warning. It's an invitation. I am shifting you, not because you are behind, but because you are ready. And yes, I know it feels uncomfortable. Realignment always does. You're letting go of what once felt like stability, but it was actually stagnation. You're releasing strategies that worked in previous seasons, but now feel lifeless. You're grieving old rhythms even while sensing new ones knocking. That's because you're transitioning from striving to surrender. For so long, you thought breakthrough would come by force, by effort, by control, by doing more. But what I'm about to do in your life will not be born of striving. It will come through surrender. Deep, holy, heart-trembling surrender. The kind of surrender that says, God, even if I don't understand it, I trust you. Even if I can't trace you, I'll still obey. I don't need you to manufacture movement. I need you to yield to my momentum. What I am building now requires your yes, not your hustle. Your obedience, not your overthinking. Your worship, not your worry. This shift is not earned. It's embraced. It's not a reward for being strong. It's a release for being surrendered. Let me say this with clarity. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. You are not missing your moment. You are standing on the threshold of divine alignment, and the urgency you feel is not an alarm. It's the sound of heaven opening doors you didn't knock on. It's me moving things into place with supernatural speed. And because you've been faithful in silence, I'm accelerating your steps in the Spirit. Don't let your mind interpret this urgency as a signal to rush. Let your spirit interpret it as a call to release. I'm not pushing you to do more. I'm pulling you to fall deeper into me. The answers won't come through anxiety. They'll come through alignment. The shift won't be found in stress. It will be discovered in surrender. Let go of the reins. I never called you to drive this. I called you to follow. This next wave will not rise on your strength. It will rise on your yielding. And child, once you yield, once you release the grip and open your hands, you will feel the winds of heaven push you into places you could never have reached on your own. This urgency is me drawing near. This alignment is me taking the lead. So stop striving. Start surrendering. Because the shift has already begun. My beloved, I hear you. I've heard every time you've asked, when, Lord? I've seen the way you look at the calendar, the clock, the mirror, searching for signs that something is about to shift. You've asked again and again, when will it happen? When will the promise come? When will the struggle ease? You've watched others receive what looks like their moment, and you've wondered if I skipped over you. You've been faithful, you've been patient, and still, the silence stretches like an unanswered prayer echoing in an empty room. But listen to me, child. Your question is valid, but it's incomplete. What you should be asking isn't when will it happen. The real question is, are you prepared to receive it when it does? Because I've already declared the outcome. The manifestation is not the mystery. The preparation of your soul, that's the part we're working through now. What's coming to you is too weighty to be handled with shallow faith. It requires a depth you didn't know you needed until you faced delay. You thought the weight was me withholding, but it was me readying. I have already spoken the word. It's sealed. It's done. Heaven isn't confused about your destiny. The only question left is, will you rise into the maturity that can sustain what's already been assigned to you? Because I'm not just answering your prayer, I'm releasing a realm. And realms require responsibility. You've asked for overflow, but have you surrendered the old containers that can't hold the new oil? You've asked for influence, but have you healed from the wounds that still seek validation through attention? You've asked for doors, but are you ready for the obedience that will be required once those doors open? You see, child, I'm not preparing the blessing. I'm preparing you. Because I love you too deeply to deliver something that will crush you due to lack of preparation. So the delay hasn't been denial, it's been divine design. I've been tilling the soil of your character, strengthening your know, sharpening your discernment, healing your identity. Because what's coming can't be mismanaged. It's not just about you, it's about everyone who will be touched by your obedience. And I will not let the destiny I gave you become a weapon in the enemy's hand because it arrived before your spirit was ready. And so I ask again, are you ready? Not in your emotions, not in your schedule, not in your imagination, in your spirit. Are you prepared to steward glory? Can you carry favor without needing to be seen? Can you walk in authority without craving control? Can you obey me when the crowd goes quiet? Because, child, the promise is not far. It's already here, circling your life like a seed waiting for soil. The moment you shift from asking when to declaring yes, everything begins to move. Not because you earned it, but because you align with it. My timing is perfect. I have not forgotten. But I will not bless you prematurely. I will not give you something just to watch it break you. I am not cruel, I am committed. Committed to your fullness. Committed to your wholeness. Committed to the version of you that doesn't just carry blessings but multiplies them for generations. So pause the countdown. Let go of the timeline. And ask the better question, Father, make me ready. Because what's next is not waiting on heaven. It's waiting on your readiness. Oh, my dear child, how tenderly I've watched you listen for me. You're straining for a word, heart aching for confirmation. You've waited with open palms and whispered prayers. You've cried in the middle of the night and stared into the silence hoping it would speak back. And when it didn't sound the way you thought it would, you assumed I was absent. But let me say this with the fullness of my presence. I was never silent. I've been speaking to you all along, just not in the language your expectations were tuned to hear. You were listening for lightning, but I was whispering in rain. You wanted a trumpet, but I was threading my words through your tears. I was the ache in your chest that reminded you you're still alive. I was the tug in your spirit when you were about to settle. I was the peace that flooded you out of nowhere, the scripture that found you instead of you finding it, the timing that couldn't be explained. I was in all of it, woven into every moment you thought I was silent. You see, child, I speak in more than syllables. I speak in seasons. I speak in shifts. I speak in divine disruptions and in doors that don't open. I speak in the gut feelings that won't go away. I speak in dreams you can't shake and burdens that won't lift. But because it didn't sound like you were used to, you labeled it silence. Yet if you will look again, closer, slower, with your spirit and not your logic, you will see that I was louder than ever. You were looking for the familiar, but I was drawing you into the unfamiliar so I could mature your hearing. Because where I'm taking you next, you can't survive off yesterday's revelations. You need new frequencies, sharper discernment, the ability to detect my fingerprints on what others dismiss as coincidence. And so I changed the frequency, not to confuse you, but to develop you. You thought I went quiet, but I was inviting you into a deeper kind of listening. I wasn't withholding words. I was expanding your vocabulary of faith. And now, the question isn't just, is God speaking? The real question is, am I listening in the right dimension? Because I am always speaking. I don't take days off from your life. I don't go silent like the world does. I've been orchestrating divine messages through seemingly mundane moments. That person you bumped into, that was me. That sudden insight, that was me. That feeling in worship you couldn't explain, that was me. But you've been listening for noise when I've been forming revelation. And that revelation is about to erupt like a flood. Because now your ears have adjusted. Now your heart hath been softened. Now your discernment hath been sharpened. And what once sounded like silence will now echo like thunder. I've never stopped speaking. I've just been speaking on a level that required you to go deeper. And you did. Even when it hurt. Even when it was lonely. Even when the silence felt suffocating. You kept listening. And because of that, my child, your ears are now ready to hear everything I've been saying all along. My cherished child, I want you to understand, when I come, I do not come empty-handed. I do not arrive unprepared or underwhelming. I bring the fullness of heaven with me, the answers you've been waiting for, the assignments you've been pondering, and the unseen, angelic assistance that will stand beside you as you step into your next reason to believe. You thought I might appear as a sudden feeling, a fleeting moment, a casual whisper. But no, I come weighted with purpose. Imagine a king arriving not with empty hands, but with scrolls of instruction, keys to doors, and messengers at his side. That is me now, standing before you in the courtyard of your spirit, laden with what your soul has been longing for. Everything you've asked for in hidden tears and unheard prayers, I'm holding in my hand, ready to release. You thought you were waiting, but what hath been waiting for you is far greater than you can imagine. I'm not initiating conversation. I'm commencing a commission. And you, my beloved, are the one I've chosen to send into your next season with purpose and power. The delay or silence you endured wasn't my absence. It was my preparation. I was gathering the strategies, aligning the forces, tuning your ears, and filling the vessels that would carry the weight of your calling. And now, when I step in, I'll arrive not with words floating in the air, but with armies aligned. The answers will be precise, cutting through confusion like a sword of light. The assignments will carry weight, not pressure, but purpose. And the angelic assistance, the angelic assistance, will not hover in the distance. It will stand shoulder to shoulder with you. You will feel their presence, sense their protection, and flow in the power that rises when the supernatural collides with your faith. You have not been left behind. You have not been overlooked. You have been prepared. Now I say to you, receive. Accept not just comfort, but commissioning. Not just comfort, but clarity. Not just comfort, but the company of the unseen forces that work when you step into my calling. And yes, you may wonder if you're ready. You may still question whether what you sense is enough. But let me reassure you, my provision is bigger than your preparation. My strength exceeds your flaws, and my presence is more real than any fear trying to tell you otherwise. So don't step nervously. Step boldly. not because of your courage, but because of my power coming with you. You are not alone. You never were. And what I place in your hand now will change how you walk forward. It will shift atmospheres, unlock doors, and pave paths you thought were impossible. Trust that what I bring is not the beginning of more confusion, but the beginning of clarity. Not the beginning of another question, but the beginning of the answer. So reach up and take it, my assignment, my anointing, my angels, my word, my power. Because today I'm not just speaking into your life, I'm sending you. And you will not walk it alone. My beloved child, I see the fog in your mind, the way thoughts swirl when you try to decide, the heaviness in your chest when clarity slips just beyond your grasp. You've wrestled with confusion. You thought it was from weariness, from lack of focus, from the weight of too many expectations. But child, what you faced wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual interference. It was a strategy engineered to slow you, to cloud what I spoke, to blur what is from what is not. The enemy can't handle your destiny, so he throws distractions, doubts, and delays at you to derail you. He counts on the fog to weaken your permission to operate in my clarity. But I am clearing the fog. I am sending a wind into the atmosphere of confusion that will blow clarity back into place. When my spirit moves, storms flee, ghosts dissipate, and the mind can rest in the quiet bone-deep conviction that I am speaking. I'm aligning. I am turning this around. You might look at your previous attempts to see my path, studies, plans, confirmations, failures, and feel like you're back at square one. But, child, this is not about starting over. This is about starting fresh. I'm sweeping the battlefield clear. No more lies masquerading as your own thoughts. No more condemnation dressed in accusation. No more silence wearing the costume of abandonment. I'm sanctifying your thinking. I am illuminating your understanding. You will see your next move like a path carved in light. You will hear direction like a melody tuned to your spirit. The fog hasn't been part of your assignment. It's been a disguise meant to delay your steps. But that disguise is dissolving right now. My voice is rising louder than the lie. My light is penetrating darker clouds. And what felt like murk is becoming miracle formation. What seemed like uncertainty is shifting into unmistakable clarity. Take a breath, my child. Let go of the impulse to fill the time with noise. Let go of the temptation to scan around for security. You will only find it in me. Stand still and watch as I realign your mind and soul. Disassembly of confusion is my work, and I've come for your clarity today. You thought the pressure would break you, but it will break the fog instead. You thought the waiting left you vulnerable, but it has fortressed your sensitivity to my voice. You thought you lost your connection, but I have never lost hold of you. Every moment of chaos before this one was a veil. And now, I say, behold, my glory will shine through you. You will walk forward into this next season with vision that cannot be stolen and wisdom that cannot be misread. The interference is broken. The fog is cleared. And you, my beloved, are stepping into clarity. Beloved, it's time we speak plainly, spirit to spirit, truth to truth. I see how long you've been in survival mode. I see how you've adjusted your expectations downward just to manage the weight of disappointment. You've built routines around pain, made peace with lack, called coping contentment when deep down you knew it was compromise. You celebrated crumbs as miracles, not because you lacked faith, but because you didn't believe you were allowed to ask for more. But listen to me now. You were never meant to live a life defined by survival. I did not create you to merely endure. I formed you in my image to reign, not with arrogance, not with worldly ambition, but with spiritual authority, with the dignity of royalty and the fire of a co-heir to my kingdom. I didn't crown you with grace so you could limp through life silently. I crowned you so you could rise. But before you can rise, you have to confront the survival identity that has subtly cloaked itself in false humility. You've worn it like a second skin. This idea that you're being holy by playing small, that you're being meek by avoiding movement. But beloved, I've never called you to invisibility. I've called you to impact, to release what I've poured into you, to shake atmospheres, to bring deliverance through your voice, to carry breakthrough in your very presence. You've been surviving, yes, but that season has expired. Now I am calling you out of survival and into spiritual sovereignty. The throne of grace is not a museum for the weary. It is a command center for my sons and daughters to legislate heaven on earth. And I am reminding you today, you're not just a survivor. You're a sent one. You carry power, not just pain. You house answers, not just aching. And you will not leave this next season crawling. You will leave it commissioned. What I am unlocking now will require you to drop the labels that the wilderness gave you. You are not stuck. You are not fragile. You are not barely making it. You are called, empowered, and rising with the roar of resurrection in your lungs. The enemy's greatest fear is not your suffering. It's your surrender to my identity over you. Because once you realize who you are in me, you stop asking for scraps and start demanding destiny. You stop living on defense and start operating in divine dominion. I am restoring your roar. I am reigniting your revelation. You will no longer apologize for the power I placed in you. You will no longer tiptoe around blessings I crafted for your hands. You will no longer shrink in the name of patience. My spirit in you is not passive. It is piercing. It's time to rise. Not in pride, but in purpose. Not in noise, but in knowing. And when you rise, child, chains will break, not just in your life, but in the lives of those who have been watching you survive. They've seen your fight. Now they will see your fire. My beloved, listen to me closely. There is not a single part of your past I did not already see when I called you. Not one. I saw the wounds you caused, and the ones that were done to you.